Well, hello everyone. It is your main man Sports Live with a special broadcast this evening. The college football playoff national championship just concluded in Glendale, California at the SoFi Stadium. Georgia won the game over TCU 65-7. Yes, you heard that right. It was 65-7. So quickly, just going over some statistics for Georgia. Stetson Bennett had 18 completed passes in 25 attempts for 304 yards. Carson Beck, the backup quarterback, had two completions out of three attempts for 31 yards, and altogether for 335 yards passing. In rushing, Kenny McIntosh had 8 carries for 50 yards. Branson Robinson had 7 carries for 42 yards. Stetson Bennett had 3 carries for 39 yards. Savon Clark had 5 carries for 25 yards. Kendall Milton had 10 carries for 33 yards. Dejon Edwards, 5 carries for 30 yards. Brock Bowers, 2 carries for 15 yards. Ladd McConkey, 1 carry for 14 yards. So Georgia's total rushing was 254 yards on 44 carries. In receiving, Brock Bowers had 7 receptions for 152 yards. Ladd McConkey had 5 receptions for 88 yards. Darnell Washington had 1 carry for 28 yards. Adonai Mitchell had 1 carry for 22 yards. Kyrus Jackson had 1 reception for 20 yards. Dejon Edwards, 2 receptions for 12 yards. Dylan Bell, 1 reception, 11 yards. Orion Smith, one reception for 3 yards, and Kenny McIntosh, 1 reception for -1 yards. The team had 20 total receptions with 335 yards. No fumbles were committed on the Georgia team. For the Georgia defense, Samel Mondon Jr. had 5 total tackles, 4 of them solos. Robert Beal Jr. had 3 total tackles and a sack. Bear Alexander had 2 total tackles with a sack. Michael Williams had 2 tackles with a sack. Let's see. Nazar Stackhouse had 2 tackles, 1 solo. Tyke Smith, Jelon Walker, both had 1 tackle and a sack. And that's some notable stats on the defense. For TCU, Darius Davis had 5 yards receiving for 101 yards. Blair Conright, 1 reception for 15 yards. Jared Wiley, 2 receptions for 14 yards. Jocarius Spivey, 3 receptions for 10 yards. 1 reception for 10 yards. Tay Barber, 1 reception, 8 yards. Quentin Johnson, 1 reception, 3 yards. Amani Bailey, 1 reception, 2 yards. Corey Wren, 1 reception for 1 yard. And Imari DeMarcado, 1 reception for -2 yards. So they had 14 total receptions for 152 yards. TCU had 1 fumble that ended up being lost to Georgia. Jamoy Hodge had 7 tackles. D. Winters had 7 tackles. Millard Bradford had 7 tackles. Johnny Hodges, Mark Perry had 6 tackles. Bud Clark and Travarius Hodges Tomlinson had 5 tackles. Dylan Horton, Abraham Camara, Terrell Cooper had 4 tackles, and Caleb Fox had 2 tackles. In regard to rushing, Imari DeMarcado had 14 carries for 58 yards. Imani Bailey had 2 carries for 9 yards. Chandler Morris, 1 carry for 4 yards. Darius Davis, 1 carry for 2 yards. And Max Dugan, 10 carries for -38 yards. So altogether, they only had 28 yards rushing, or 28 carries for 36 yards. And finally, in passing, Max Dugan had 22 attempts. He completed 14 of them for 152 yards, and he threw for 2 interceptions. Chandler Morris had one attempt, no completions, and the team total for that is 152 yards. So as you can see from just those stats itself, Georgia completely dominated this game, and so congratulations to the Georgia Bulldogs for being a repeat champion since they won the national championship also last year. So, for the college football aspect of things, there will be some other broadcasts coming up in the future regarding certain things for college football. But for now, I'm going to sign out for the evening. It's your main man, Sports Love. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like and please comment on what you see and hit the notification bell so that way you can be aware of when I do broadcast and or have other videos that are posted. So in the meantime, peace out.